usage of some. All right. We are heading into map 2. It's Route 66, which is a brand new map added into the hero pool. Let's see how some of these teams who haven't had to deal with the lack of some of these maps are going to play, since they've probably been practicing some of these maps since the beginning. Specifically, the Chinese teams, all the Pacific teams haven't had to play all that much. They haven't had to deal with missing some of these maps. So they've probably been, grinding every map, meaning that their play on these maps is probably going to be a lot higher tier than the Atlantic teams. So we're seeing double barrier composition from Shanghai Dragons, and Guangzhou are going with a Sigma Wrecking Ball, which I don't know how that's going to turn out, but you never know. It could turn out to be very effective. Happy is using Widow, who is officially back in rotation after the first week of hero pools, and Lip is going Hanzo, which hasn't been a very common pick over the past few weeks, except when the Florida Mayhem used him to take down the... Oh gosh, I don't even remember what team they used it against. It was a very good map. I think it might have been Paris Eternal against Philadelphia Fusion, probably. Okay, complete chaos on the point right now, but Shanghai Dragons are making great use, trying to rotate into that side cart. Happy, great headshot onto Li Jaegon. That's going to allow the Guangzhou charge to start pushing, because after this, everybody's just going to fall, and that's exactly what it is. It's just going to be the cleanup from the Guangzhou charge and allow them to start moving the cart. But this is a pretty easy point to start getting the push on. It's going to be up at the end to point A and into point B that's going to be the struggle for them to push through, especially if the Shanghai Dragons are able to hold them off. So Happy's taking the high ground. Happy's got great sightlines right now, and he's got amazing choke control. I mean, nobody can get through there without Happy picking them off. However, Shanghai Dragons know this, and they're starting to wrap around, but that pick onto Lip is going to put Shanghai Dragons in a really bad spot. So let's see if their double barrier can keep them in the fight long enough to get Lip back in. Unfortunately, both supports are down, and that's going to spell a team fight loss for Shanghai Dragons. It's not much you can do without both of your supports. Okay, they locked off Fleta, and they've just staggered Fleta, so that's perfectly okay. We're only about halfway through the map, so it's not going to do them too bad. They're going to wait a little bit, but unlike the rest of the team, Fleta will have been pushed back to the next spawn point, so they're not going to have spawn point advantage for Fleta. And they can't make a full push until Fleta's back. And it looks like he just came back, so they're finally ready to go through the choke. I think Guangzhou Charge could have gone Bastion with that. I think on Route 66, Bastion is perfect. Or maybe even Junkrat for control on that choke. I think Happy playing the Widow works just as well to control that choke point. And Lip is just getting poked at continuously, even to the point of being eliminated, as we just saw. Unfortunately, it looks like Lip has been the first to fall a lot this map. And it might just be the Hanzo pick. But Void is gone, Li Jaegon looks like he's next, Fleta's out, Stand 1's gone, Izayaki follows, easy cleanup from Guangzhou going into the third and final point. So this does usually tend to be the easiest point to defend for the defense. So let's see if they can use the third point of Route 66 to its fullest. Happy can't really find a good sightline right now, not on the high ground. That was a great pick onto Li Jaegon. Amazing. But the Shanghai Dragons cannot allow Happy to keep getting these picks. But there goes Fleta. Happy is on fire right now. This match, I think Happy versus Lip is going to be the DPS fight to watch, but I mean, Happy is just getting set up by his team, like with the Halt from Rio, and nobody's pressuring him. So that's also causing a lot of problems. Nero gets Izayaki, so they're lacking healing. Batiste will do the best he can, but I don't think he's going to offer the healing that they need. That was a great blizzard from Fleta, but the rest of Guangzhou is able to get out of it. However, Shanghai is suddenly filling up the kill feed where they hadn't before. I don't think. No. The Mei Fleta, not a very good swap. Happy does need to get off of the Widowmaker. Let's see if he does. And it doesn't look like he is. Because the shields from Shanghai are going to take up so much space, take up so much width in Route 66 that Happy can't really get around that. He can do like chip damage on the shields and he might be able to go for a really complex flank, but in the end, it's not going to be effective if he can't get the picks that he needs. Because Widowmaker is definitely a pick hero. That was a great transcendence from Shu, pressuring the Shanghai Dragons, but Shanghai is suddenly coming to life. I think they came to life right after that second point got taken. And it's right at the beginning, and it's right at the end of the point too. Less than 3 meters remaining, and they're going to start pushing it back. And now Guangzhou can't just rely on making space to push the cart. They have to make a dedicated push. And Sigma is a great hero for that, but Orisa is a very stationary hero. So pushing in on the Shanghai Dragons is not going to be Orisa's strong point. We've got a Dragon Strike from Hanzo. Shu does get out of the way, and Guangzhou's looking like they're going to retreat a little bit to get away from that. But Happy is just, there's nothing that Happy can do with that sniper, and Void is able to get a pick onto Nero. Shu follows. Void is filling up the kill feed. Let's see if he can keep going. Can we get 3? There we go. There's 3. And they're chasing. I mean, they're not just going to allow Guangzhou to retreat and regroup and push again. They're chasing them down, trying to get that stagger. Now, it's not successful. It's not a successful stagger, but I think that's precisely the reason that neither team is running Diva, is because running her on a map like this will be very ineffective, especially if they're able to stagger with the DPS that are being used. And Happy's still not able to get those sightlines. Happy is not helping her team. Happy is not helping his team the way that he should be. And it's allowing Shanghai to keep picking on their team. There's another cleanup. And there's only one fight left. Guangzhou had an amazing start too, but it's slowly falling apart for them. So Happy finally swaps off that Widow. Thank God. Well, let's see what we can get. Okay, Sonic Arrow doesn't find anybody, so they're still kind of in the dark there. They have to touch the cart. Overtime's ticking out, but Guangzhou Charge does have the advantage of being closer to the cart than Shanghai Dragons do. So, see. Happy pokes off onto the other Hanzo. Let's see if he can tap somebody over there. Nero throws in her Blizzard. They can't eat it, but Izayaki gets that Transcendence off and is able to escape. Void gets caught, but they can't follow up with any damage, and Shanghai clean up the Guangzhou Charge. That was an amazing first round. Absolutely incredible. Guangzhou just don't seem like they're good at adapting to the plays of these other teams. It was a great defense against the Guangzhou charge. Shanghai seemed to be very, very good at adapting on the fly. They're coming up with new heroes. They'll just pull out a new hero and say, hey, you don't like the hero we're running, you keep shutting him down, well, here's a new hero. And it's either going to be, Void or Li Gan or Fleta that swaps off. Usually the more experienced flex players. Li Gan is doing really great as a starting support. So we're going to see Guangzhou Charge run the exact same composition that they ran on the first, or on attack. And we're going to see Happy run the Widowmaker for defense as well. They're going to have sightline advantage, but I think we might see Happy swap off fairly quickly because they're going to be ready. They know that Happy is going to run Widow because Lip's running Widow, so it's only kind of a given that, well, we're going to both run the same thing, but we are going to see mirror matchup. Let's just see which team can run it better. Okay. Guangzhou spread out. We see Krong, and Nero hiding up in that side. Lip goes and swaps off onto the Hanzo. Okay, good wall. So Shanghai has completely rotated to the back of Guangzhou so that they can make a lot of picks. We see Flada got Happy. Happy was up on that high ground, but there wasn't much that Happy could do when they started collapsing on him. Immortality Field from Neptuno, but it's too late. That was a great hold from Shanghai, and that just shows Shanghai's push is going to be stellar. Stellar fighting. Okay. Shanghai are setting up on the high ground. They're going to try to cut Guangzhou off before they can even get to the cart. That way they can try to push as much as far as possible before being forced to take a fight close to the cart. Void's doing great with the deflections of his orbs, and that's keeping Guangzhou on their toes, definitely. Okay. Nero stops his team from going down with that wall, but he also prevents his team from going through that choke point and gives Shanghai a chance to set up. And now we're seeing Shanghai were ready for it. Guangzhou is going to fall. Wow, great accretion. A 4 kill from Shanghai. And this is going to be a hold for Guangzhou. I was not expecting that. Team kill. Wow. That accretion, yeah. I think going for that grab was incredibly brave move, especially when the fight was basically over. But Krong managed to turn it around. Great work from him. We're seeing Guangzhou try to pressure Shanghai from both sides. Early Transcendence from Shu, meaning it's going to wear off before the Blizzard comes out. And there's nothing that Guangzhou Charge can do. Shanghai is rolling over them. Shu does manage to pick off Izayaki, but Li Gan was going crazy with his kills, which is not often that you see a support like Batiste in the kill feed, filling up the kill feed no less. Okay. You see Izayaki has the Transcendence, and it looks like Batiste is going to get his Amplification Matrix sometime during this fight. Void is going to get his... Okay, we see an early Amplification Matrix used from the Shanghai Dragons. Void has his Gravitic Flux. Kind of useless, ineffective because of that Immortality Field placed by Neptuno. And we're going to see Guangzhou Charge start to gain their ultimates. But Shu is down. Neptuno looks like he's about to follow. Happy, kind of low. Guangzhou is not able to keep up with this fast-paced offense from Shanghai. They're keeping them on their toes. Shanghai's composition and the way that they're running that composition with Hanzo versus the Widowmaker is allowing them to control the tempo of the game. And by controlling the tempo of the game, Guangzhou is never able to stabilize themselves and put up a genuine defensive attack. So Happy finally swaps off of his Widowmaker, but the fact that it took him this long might just cost them that third point as well, because they're not going to have the ult charge that Lip does, meaning that Lip is able to get his Dragon Strike off and control that middle lane. If he can just send it straight down the middle or send it off at an angle, he's going to effectively split up the Guangzhou Charge if he can shoot it right between them and get that perfect aim. Lip is getting low, though, with that Discord Orb. Okay, we're seeing Guangzhou get low. Krong has that Discord Orb on, and he's taking a lot of damage for it. Rio, Happy, and Nero are also going low. Shanghai is just staying up, but it looks like Neptuno will be the first to fall. That was a great shot from Lip, from the flank or from the cover. And now Fleta is a lot more confident in going around and getting close and getting up in their faces. And we see Lip follow and Izayaki using his Transcendence to get just as close. So unlike what we saw with the Guangzhou attack, Shanghai was able to roll that right in. They never even stopped for a second. Guangzhou put up no defense. That was a great Route 66. We're going to see Krong get play of the game. I think it was that 4K. I wouldn't be shocked. So that means Shanghai moves up 2-0 in this series. Honestly, I don't think Guangzhou can get the reverse sweep, especially, seeing how little time they have. I think we're going on to Eichenwald, and this game mode is a very strong game mode. This game mode specifically has been very strong for Shanghai over the past few years. Past 2 years. Past few stages. Couple seasons. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what kind of compositions they run. Should be very, very good. This could potentially be the last map of the series, so Guangzhou has to do something. They've got to adapt and keep this interesting. We're seeing Wrecking Ball from Rio. That's a brave choice. That's a very brave choice. Nero's doing great as Mei. Fleta is kind of trailing behind. I kind of expected more from Fleta, but they're trying to play the meta, and that calls for Mei, and you got to do what you got to do. Lip is on his Hanzo. His Hanzo's been on point this game. And Happy goes over to Doomfist, which we haven't seen him play so far. Stand 1. Shanghai Dragons, their tank line is choosing to run double barrier, while Guangzhou is running different tank compositions. And Happy goes over to the Widowmaker. Kind of figured he wouldn't play the Doomfist unless, let's see what he swaps over to. He's going to mirror match. He's going to mirror Happy on the Hanzo. So it's going to be seeing which one is the more dominant Hanzo, which so far Lip has definitely been the dominant Hanzo. So Lip has plenty of space to just poke at them from a distance. If he gets lucky and manages to get a pick, that'll be great for them. That'll be great for the Dragons and their defense. Discord Orb onto Krong, but Discord Orb also goes on to Void. They're pulled back. Shanghai is trying to play around the point. Very, very smart. Shanghai, great Mei wall in cutting off the charge. And they are able to hold the point. That pick onto Neptuno and Krong from cutting them off from the rest of their team with the Mei wall was perfect. It was great planning, and it allowed them to get that pick so that Guangzhou couldn't recover. Okay, Happy's back out onto the field. He's a huge weak link this game. I think by tomorrow, he needs to figure something out. He needs to do something, fix what he's playing, because it's not working. And Shu goes down again. We see Happy is teasing the dragons, which I don't know. He's can't back it up, so I don't know what you think you're doing. Nero or Happy, one of them needs to swap off and try to get a more close quarters hero. I think a lot of these fights have been won when Shanghai moves in and collapses onto the charge. And it's going to be on the Guangzhou charge to play DPS heroes that can match that. We're going to see that immortality field fall, and Guangzhou is finally able to get past that bridge to get a strategic foothold in this match, but it might just be too late. They only have a minute 26, and Fleta takes out Rio. Rio has not had the strongest Orisa play. I think putting him on the Wrecking Ball or onto the Reinhardt would benefit them a lot more. They're trying to match Shanghai, though, instead of playing their own thing. And we saw last season, they really only benefited, Guangzhou only really benefited when they ran something that they were comfortable with and didn't run the meta. But they're trying to run the meta here. We see the supercharger from stand 1. Just kind of a more like, let's just wait for this kind of thing. We're just waiting for the timer to run out. They're not really trying to set up for really strategic plays. They don't have to. They've got such a great hold on space to play around. Guangzhou is going to split off to go around, use the supercharger, hoping to catch stand 1 by himself, but the wall from Fleta keeps them safe. Gravitic Flux from Void. Happy gets a pick onto Fleta. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Happy hasn't been able to pick off a branch from a tree. He couldn't hit the card if he wanted to. But we see him get Fleta. Izayaki, however, gets Neptuno. It's a lot of kill trading. We're seeing a lot of kill trading, but the charge finally managed to get the advantage there and take the point, which, that's great for them, but they only have 2 minutes and 27 seconds, 2.5 minutes to make something happen, to get to the next point. And we've seen defenses that have lasted longer than that. So Shanghai Dragons don't have much to do to hold off the charge. I think the lack of movement from Rio, coupled with how mobile the charge are playing, with how aggressive they're playing, Orisa's too stagnant, too defensive of a hero. However, Shu gets the pick onto Void. Aggressive Zenyatta play. Fleta, let's see if he can capture Nero, and it looks like he's going to be able to. He can't get the pick, though, and that gives Guangzhou enough time to clean up the rest of his team. Happy is coming alive on the Hanzo. That is a great job. That is a great... Okay. Halt brings all of Shanghai, minus Lip, into that little hallway, which allows Guangzhou to focus them down, but somehow Shanghai managed to get out and take down Krong. Izayaki goes for Krong. Void picks up on Neptuno. We're seeing a lot of ult usage from the Dragons, though, to secure this defense, meaning that going into the next fight, the Charge are going to have a huge ult advantage. Because we see stand 1 just used his bongo, even though he definitely didn't have to. totally didn't have to use that. He could have saved it. Poor ult usage. Let's, let's see what it means. Because Rio's up to 80% on her bongo. Okay, double shield is keeping the team protected, but Shanghai has grabbed the high ground, which is going to keep Guangzhou from getting up to the cart and touching it within the next 15 seconds. And now with Shanghai making all these picks, we've got Stand 1 taking out Rio, we've got Izayaki grab Neptuno. Let's see who else. Let's see if we can get him. Krong has the Discord orb. Let's see if that can make a difference. Lip gets Shu. Great Hanzo play. And that is going to end the Guangzhou Charge's push. So Shanghai, all they have to do is push up to the second point, which isn't that hard. And I'm sure they could do it. I'm sure they absolutely could. So Guangzhou are playing very aggressively this game. They're playing defensive heroes aggressively, and it's not benefiting them. I mean, they've got the Zen, who's very aggressive. Mei is not a super aggressive hero, and Hanzo is sort of aggressive, but you've got the Orisa, and you've got the Batiste, and you've got Sigma, and none of those are really push heroes, because even as tanks, they don't have a lot of health. Their shields are, very immobile. Well, Orisa's is. Sigma's not so much. And Batiste is more meant for like setting up with a bunker comp, which is a defensive setup. But they're still trying to play as aggressively as they possibly can. Meanwhile, Shanghai understand the defensive nature of their heroes and are running them exactly as they need to. Okay. So we're going to have to see Guangzhou Charge start to play a lot more defensively, just like Shanghai did on their hold. They were playing further back around the natural cover, which we see Guangzhou doing, but they're giving Shanghai way too much space right off the bat. It's going to make such a quick take for Shanghai, I can guarantee it. We're seeing pick or poke damage on both sides. Neither is able to really get the pick that they're looking for. Lip has got a lot of pressure on him with the Discord orb and being right there out in the middle of nowhere. The flank from Shanghai, unfortunately, they're getting trapped in. They have a chance of getting trapped in that corner, but it's not happening. Stand 1 with the Orisa is playing perfect Orisa. Play the game from Stand 1. I can see it. And that allows a very, very quick take. I mean, 5.5 minutes to make it to the other side. I think if Guangzhou had had that much time to get to the other side, they could have done it. And now we're going to see what the Shanghai Dragons can do, a much more superior team with a huge time bank. So Happy is able to hit from the top where the shields can't protect unless Sigma can push his shield up to them. Guangzhou are really spread out though. I think it's benefiting them being able to take on multiple fronts at once, but they don't have the sustain that they might have, especially if Shanghai decides to take all 6 of their members into a 2v6. Both immortality fields are taken out for this. Both cooldowns are gone. Shanghai's very grouped up. Guangzhou is making great use of this high ground to stave off the Shanghai Dragons, but nobody's gone down yet. The Shanghai Dragons are anticipating all of these moves onto the high ground, all of these rotations, all of these peels. They're anticipating all of it and adapting accordingly. They're trying to just build ult charge. Void is trying to get a few more picks, and all of the Shanghai Dragons ults are coming out at once. And that allows the pick onto Neptuno and Rio from the Gravitic Flux from Void. Stand 1, Lip and Li Gon are aiding as much as they possibly can, getting as many picks as they want to get. I mean, they have full dominance This map is done. This map is over. Because Guangzhou has to go through the choke, and that's going to get them, especially with Li Gan up on the top with the amplification matrix. Oh no! Li Gan is, well, Li gone. He's out of there. And Nero gets the kill on a Void. Looks like Guangzhou aren't done yet. They still want this. They still want to hold this here. But with 3 minutes, I don't think this hold is going to mean all that much. That was a fantastic. Krong is just coming alive. Krong definitely MVP for Guangzhou. He is playing a great Sigma, which just shows you how well they've been grinding these hero pools. How well these teams have been grinding hero pools. They want to make sure they know how each hero works so that the hero pools don't affect them, and they aren't. The halt from Guangzhou doesn't do very much at all, and Li Gan's healing is on point. He's managing everything all at once. Keeping his team up in the fight. Sigma gets his barrier up. Neptuno's trying to shoot over the barrier. Incredible. Okay. Ah, Nero goes down, and that's it. We've seen Li Gan picked off the enemy Baptiste. Fleta got the enemy Mei. Happy gets one pick, but Fleta's going for Shu, and they're just going to keep pushing. This is game. They're stopped right at the end. Happy in danger. Krong already gone. Happy launches his Dragon Strike and manages to almost get Void, but Void pulls out. Okay. Great Gravitic Flux. That pulls all of Guangzhou Charge off of the cart and gives them no... Oh, wow. That gave them no hindrance in pushing that cart straight through to the end. That was a great match from both teams. The Guangzhou Charge need to show more flexibility. They need to be able to change. They need to be able to change how they're adapting to these situations, because they're not doing it, and it's costing them precious maps. It's costing them team fights. It's costing them ultimate use, ultimate charge. The Shanghai Dragons are definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with this week. Not just this week, but the entire season. It looks like the Shanghai Dragons are shaping up to be a great team, but that all depends on how the Guangzhou Charge face up against other teams, and how the Shanghai Dragons start to do against top-tier teams like the Shock and the Titans, if they ever get to play against each other, that is. So that was a great match to start off our first weekend of Overwatch matches. And I can't wait to see what the rest of this week offers. For now, my name is Ferno. Hope you guys enjoyed. Signing off for now.